The University Tower chimes ring in another session of Ask the Professor, the show on which you match wits with University of Detroit Mercy professors in an unrehearsed session of questions and answers. I'm your host, Matt Maggio, and let me introduce to you our panel for today. To my left, from the Department of Mathematics and the Department of Independent Literature and Publication, it's Professor Jeff Bose.
How's it going?
What's going on, Jeff? You got big news.
Oh, my first book comes out in about, 3.5 weeks from when we're taping. Probably about when the show airs, actually.
Probably, yeah.
So,
Can you tell us a little bit about it?
Blood Game. It's an
fantasy, I hope.
It's an espionage novel.
Oh,
It's
cool.
about basically
it's nonfiction.
an autistic intel analyst who finally gets his shot at clandestine operations, and it's almost more than he can handle. But it's
Very cool.
That's what it's about.
Very cool. And I know from having read that one that there's all sorts of, if you don't mind, like cool math in it. And I think that the way you integrated that was really cool.
Well, thank you.
Yeah.
Write what you know, right?
Yeah,
But
exactly.
the key is you got to put it into layman's terms, though, because most of us aren't math geeks in the
Right.
world.
And
More layman than more.
Yeah, I don't think I'm giving anything away by saying that most of that appears in Games of Chance, which I think is a great way to connect with your
no,
The Butler did it?
No, I think there's some other stuff too. It's not just the gambling aspect of it.
Yes, but that is one aspect of it. So
yeah.
exciting! Looking forward to seeing that on the shelves, as
Cool.
I'm sure the listenership is as well.
Oh, let me just say one thing then,
Yeah.
too, about anybody who buys that or any other book out there. The best thing you can do to help any author, other than obviously buying the book, is leave a good review, right?
Sure.
If you like it, right? If you don't like it, forget it ever
Yeah,
existed.
we never know.
But if you like it, leave a good review. That really helps.
Excellent. Thanks for letting us know. We'll have you back and see how sales go over these next few months. It's exciting. And again, you haven't mentioned it yet. You're working on multiple sequels at this point.
Oh, the second book is done. We actually just figured out the cover today, and
Excellent.
I'm working on the third. There's going to be at least 3.
All right. Very, very cool. Professor Beth Oljar is here. A box of mince pies, which alas,
They evaporated.
No,
Only
there's
has
one left.
one left.
Yes, but I took a picture. I sent it to Drew. It said, bringing one home. Awesome.
it's perfect bite size. Absolute perfect bite size.
Yes, but we still have some mini moose cups from
Oh,
Westport. You know those little,
yes.
I mean,
yeah.
$2,
I mean, come
but it's
on.
such a perfect little bite of dessert.
Yes,
Little
it
chocolate
is.
shell with some chocolate mousse in it.
You were hitting all the right notes. The students asked me on the first day of lecture, "Oh, how was your break?" And I just responded with one word: food. I
What
think
break?
It was appropriate. So yeah, exactly. That's what else is there to do?
I'm
with the
sending
holidays?
people pictures of the Dutch baby pancake I made Christmas
Oh,
morning.
that's
I actually
right.
sent one to
It was
Matt.
Gorgeous. That was gorgeous.
Yeah.
I thought I sent that.
Just pouring right out of the pan.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yummy.
Professor Dan Maggio is here with us today. I'm wondering what kind of food he will highlight from his break. One thing that really sticks out.
Lots of cookies.
Oh, okay, all right, that's
I'm still
good.
eating my way through the final.
Yeah,
Ooh,
Yeah, that looks good.
it was very
it
good.
was very big. So lots of cookies. I mean, what's wrong with that? That's great.
Yep, break was good. It's been a week up north.
Mm-hmm.
That was nice break.
Very good. Very good. Excellent. Professor Jim Tubbs is here,
Hello.
and I think I heard bits and pieces of how your break went.
Oh yeah, a lot
very
of traveling
successful.
around in North Carolina and Virginia,
Okay.
and good food. Very
And
good,
good food. Excellent.
Yes.
Did you ever get tripped up by any crazy weather coming in that direction?
Well, last Saturday is when the snow was supposed to be going below us, but it actually started last Friday while I was driving. So I had snow
Lovely.
all the way across the Pennsylvania Turnpike and then all the way across the Ohio Turnpike
Uh-huh.
till I got to Toledo, and then it quit.
Well, that was better.
Once I got on 75 in
Exactly.
Toledo, it was totally dry. I
Awesome.
could see no evidence of any snow, much less active precipitation.
Everything was below the Michigan state line, almost to a T. It was
I've
actually
been wondering,
quite
like,
interesting.
where is this huge storm that we're supposed to? I mean, Audrey got hit with it in Philadelphia.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Pretty much everywhere else this side, except for us in Wisconsin.
Yeah, I mean, between Cleveland and Toledo on the turnpike,
Right.
I was having to follow behind a tractor trailer truck because I had no idea where the side of the road was or where the lines were.
Jeez.
So you
Scary
ended
stuff.
up delivering like a load of lumber and
No, there was nothing good on the truck.
Oh, darn.
I think it was an Amazon truck,
Oh,
actually.
nice. Not a bad truck to follow.
Those are the dulcet tones of Professor Dave Chow.
Pleasure to be here, as always.
Good to have you. Our street, including, of course, my house and your house, tend to keep up our lights a little longer than a lot of other people.
I'm leaving
do.
mine up till June.
Oh, that's nice.
My Christmas tree
I'm
is
not
still
saying
up.
what year, so.
I have not had a chance to take it down and
Nothing
take
wrong
all the
with that.
decorations.
For all the grief that we go through in putting them up.
I know,
we-
seriously.
Oh, and by the way, Danielle, are you going to sneak over and switch out the orange lights with yellow lights?
At some point, definitely.
Okay.
Jeez.
All right.
Maybe blue now.
Yeah.
I had
Stop.
Jan help me
Just
set up my
stop.
Christmas tree because he's awesome. So.
I just hate the picture of our roof, that's all.
Oh, I see. Well, it is what it is. It is what it is.
Never.
We have new neighbors move in right before the holidays, and they actually did a kind of a nice job of decorating the front with lights and stuff next to you,
Uh-huh,
right? So
yeah.
I'm sure you have other stories to tell, but we'll leave those.
Well-
for
So
another
you're
time.
basking in reflected glory. Next door.
I'm getting a tan off the lights.
Professor Erin Bell is here with us, director of our writing program. We're so happy to have you.
I'm happy to be here.
You have awesome Daria earrings on
So
today.
I'm promoting CCS's Noel night a full 12 months ahead of time because I'm pretty sure
That's where I saw
these
that.
are one of the things.
Sorry,
where-
Jim, they didn't have your
Yeah.
size.
I think that's what I do. I go shopping for my kids, and then
Mhm,
whilst
mhm.
there, I'm like, oh, those are cute.
Love
There's
the
like
air
a-
quotes
yeah,
around
yeah.
kids.
I usually get myself a bunch of things. So.
Oh, that's awesome.
I will admit, I saw the three. I saw most of the guys out there with nice little hip bags and stuff. So.
Mhm.
Well, yes, and you saw our dean with numerous bags.
Yes.
Oh, yeah, of course, of
I'm
course.
seeing her later on tonight too, so she's going back on CCS.
Nice.
Nice. Very, very good. Last but most certainly not least, having just enjoyed a mince pie, Professor Danielle Maxwell.
Yes, it's good to be here.
Yeah, always good to have you. So you survived your first week of a semester.
Yes, I did. It was a good first week.
So how
Yeah.
many more? 58 more?
29 and a half more years. That is it. We're almost there.
It'll pass like a kidney stone.
I'm putting you
It
having
may not
your-
end in 29 and a half years. I'm sorry to
That's
tell
the
you.
goal.
Aspirational.
I'm putting you having had your first week of the semester in the same bucket as my children telling me, "Hey, Dad, this guy is the second gentleman, and he gets to say that for the rest of his life." I'm like, that's kind of a cool title.
It is.
It's
It was
little
a
bit
good
mixed up,
first,
but-
second week.
Yeah. My dad gave driving directions to my 16-year-old son last night, and I believe I overheard the phrase, what did he say? Just south of Northwestern. And you could see, like, the loading thing in my kid's face, like, you just said everything on the compass,
Right.
like in one sentence. What does that even mean? Anywho, this is a-
Anywhere you are is where you're meant to be.
That is
I
exactly
think that's
right.
what follows, right?
This is a program where you can send us questions regarding anything, folks. If you stump the panel, you win a prize. If you don't stump the panel, you win a prize. You can send us the questions in a number of ways. Email us at atp@udmercy.edu. Find us on Facebook and Instagram, or listen on your favorite smart speaker by asking it to play Ask the Professor at University of Detroit Mercy. All right, let's see what we can do here. Hello, all. I thought it was time for another set of questions. Indeed. As always, thanks for including me on the show. I've enclosed 20 questions, and as Prof. Mayo likes to say, they're all over the board. Oh, yes, they are. 17 out of 20 is the passing rubric. Hope you enjoy. Here we go.
That's Steve.
Thanks
I
to
know.
Steve Barney, our listener, Steve Barney from Garden City. Good old
Thank
Garden
you,
City.
Steve.
Thank you,
Yes,
Steve.
Garden
More.
City,
Well, we haven't heard the
Michigan.
questions yet, but thank you in
Right.
advance.
Yeah,
right.
yeah,
Thanks
If
for
they're
sending
really
them.
hard and we don't get any of them right, we officially withdraw the thank yous.
Yes.
Just kidding.
We'll send cash.
I think I'm going to say withdraw the course, right? We still have time to withdraw.
Mhm.
We don't,
It's
do-
early.
No
Yeah.
penalties.
First week.
What is the name and where is it located? The smallest river in the world.
Depot Bay, Oregon.
You know, that's not what it says here, but it's definitely in the continental United
The
States.
Siletz
That's
River in Depot Bay. They have a sign.
How long is it? Because I've got
Like-
stats here.
I'm not
like
kidding.
that
It's
long.
really short.
Is that the sign of the river? Oh.
Well, that would win versus this, I can tell you. I'm just hoping that you'll be able to go to the old colored map here and maybe grab a
How
state
would
or
it show
two.
up on the map?
Well,
Right.
I don't think it would.
Oh, it's a,
yeah, definitely not a
it's
lot
a
of
crapshoot
rivers.
here.
I'm just wondering how they define river because
Yes, I was
what's a
gonna say
stream and what's a river?
Yeah, what's a creek?
Yeah, I mean,
What's a
you know,
river?
if you
yeah,
can
and-
jump
and-
across, it's
Or
a
a
stream.
Yeah,
Right.
or you know, I mean, my leaking sink doesn't
Oh,
count as a
real?
river, does it?
Cricks are only in the south, Jim.
That is true. That is also true. No, it says here it's near Great Falls, Montana. It says the Roe River is 201 feet long, but it sounds to me
Yeah.
like you've got something way shorter than that
I
in
think
Oregon.
the Siletz River is shorter than that.
Yeah. Okay.
but-
We'll have to
Time for some fact
get our crack
All
research
right.
team. You know.
It's either that
Yes.
we find our own river and make
Check
one
the
ourselves.
So
definition.
not a lot of kayaking on that river?
When the kayak is longer than the river,
Mm-hmm.
you got different
Oh,
problems.
67 miles. So there you go. I was wrong.
Oh, that's all
That's,
right.
that's a long river.
Yeah, that's relatively long. This is only 201 feet long.
That's a baby.
I feel like there's a I-375 joke in here somewhere, but I'm going to leave it for later because we're not going to have that. for
But
much
yeah,
longer.
I wonder what gives it the status of a river.
Right. Maybe some sort of width, although at that point, why isn't it a pond?
Must be the speed of the water.
The speed of the water. Yeah,
Okay.
that's true. That's true. 201 feet long. That's just about the size of the Briggs building. How many Earths do you think fit into the sun, approximately?
Oh, Dan, Jeff,
Oh, about 1 million.
It says exactly 1 million.
oh, sure.
I'm sure it's not
Oh.
We'll give it
exact,
to
but
you.
yeah.
We'll give it to you. 1 million Earths. URF. Traditionally speaking, based on history, why is U.S. money printed in mostly green?
Harder to
Counterfeit.
counterfeit.
Harder to counterfeit. There was another reason too. That's the
Cheap
Civil
ink.
War era. That's a good answer, but it's not what it says here.
It's on linen. It, what, it
Is it
appears
easier to see?
contrast?
You're getting closer, Dan. So there's a sort of a Civil War era, and then a turn of the 20th century other reason. So yes, counterfeiting.
Ecologically sound?
No,
No,
not
no
because
lead
it's ecological. It was done psychologically.
Spend more. I don't know.
Oh, that's really good.
If you see it laying on the ground, you would
Green.
recognize
Originally
it.
greenbacks.
All of these are really, really good responses. It says here that it was seen when it became official as a symbol of security. It needed to be something that you
Oh.
felt good about.
Oh,
Like
But-
the green walls that I don't like. The institutional green.
That make you feel very insecure.
It's true.
Green.
Oh my gosh.
Calming.
In TV land, somebody lived at 704 Hauser
Oh.
in Queens, New York.
Archie Bunker.
Archie Bunker did.
And
Archie
Edith.
and Edith,
Edith,
yes,
yeah.
from All in the Family. That is correct.
Eat it.
How do I remember that? I have no idea.
I mean, I know why you remember that because you never forget
Oh.
anything about classic TV.
I don't?
I am not a golfer. My brother-in-law is. I'm going to throw this one his way because I've never heard it before. You know how a lot of golf strokes have different nicknames?
Yes.
When you have a par 5, but you score 2, it has a very specific name. Here.
Albatross?
It's called an albatross.
Yeah.
Oh.
I played
Our
golf in high school.
Wow.
There we
Semi-professional
go.
golfer.
All I could think
yeah.
of was double eagle.
I was going
I
to say
knew that.
double eagle too.
Albatross. Yeah.
No, it's
I
named
was
over the Polish restaurants. Oh, no.
I still remember when my dad taught me sort of the basics of golf scoring because I had to do a current events presentation on sports or something in 8th grade homeroom. And
Current events. I
What is
love it.
really fun about
On
golf
the other
scoring
side-
in high school is that you have to keep track of everyone's score simultaneously while you're playing, so it's constantly doing math.
Ah.
Isn't there supposed to be honor in golf?
There's honor. We gotta check each other.
Well, not if you play with Donald Trump, I imagine.
That's
but
a given.
So on the flip side,
Great shot, sir.
when you get a bogey, it's a double bogey, triple bogey.
Yes.
Yes.
yeah.
So they weren't as creative.
They weren't as
Yes,
creative.
Albatross.
When you go over
Other
par,
birds.
apparently we're not as
Yeah.
great.
Not
We're
on
not as
the
excited about that.
underpar
We don't want
side.
that.
You get a single bogey, a penguin, and I'm trying to think of another
Yeah,
bird.
yeah.
And a
Emu.
parrot. No. In the world of entertainment, I think many of us probably know who Paul David Hewson is.
Yes.
I do.
Bono.
Oh no.
Bono.
Your letter writer.
Too,
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah.
Your correspondence course.
Hey, Euro.
I have a prediction I'm going to make about this next question here. What is 5 to the 5th power?
Oh.
3,125.
That is correct.
That was the question?
That was the question.
Okay.
My prediction
I
was
didn't
that
even
Jeff would be the first to respond.
Or Dan.
3,125.
I was doing 625 times 5.
Oh,
Jeff was.
I was like stuck on
I need like
25.
glimpse
Give me
inside
the
your
answer.
mind right now. Just
I was stuck on
how
what?
you did that.
I would need a calculator.
Yes.
Fingers and toes.
If you know your Greek-rooted names, so the name I'm thinking of is Melissa, then you would be able to easily translate the word Melissaphobia, which is not the fear of Melissas, but
Is it?
I don't know that one.
Melissa.
Melissa is a Greek word, and it means
For
a thing that you could have a fear of. And if you figure that out, you're good to go.
what, fear of carryout?
As
What
As
good to
always,
go?
I'm a little surprised. It's an animal.
A snake.
It's not a snake.
No.
Spider.
Not
It's
a
a
spider.
arachnophobia.
Melissa.
You're getting closer, Beth.
What?
Ants.
A scorpion?
Roaches.
It's
Nope.
bees.
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 Whoop, whoop.
Melissa
They're
means
bees.
bee.
Oh.
That's a lot of syllables for almost a single letter, but Melissaphobia is the fear of
Remember when Nichols had bumblebees on?
This is why when people ask me if there's a difference between ethics and morals, I
Oh,
say
yeah.
We have none.
no.
Oh.
One comes from a Latin word meaning habit
Oh,
or
right,
custom.
right.
One comes from a Greek word meaning habit or custom.
Yes, yes. We have this, and I know I've brought this up on this show before. It's been so long, Beth. This thing in chemistry, valency, how many bonds an atom can make. And technically speaking, carbon is not tetravalent because that's mixing the Latin and the Greek at the same time. It's quadrivalent to make sure that we don't cross over.
This is why
Oh,
To
the
keep your
only,
languages pure.
the only thing we need to know about organic chemistry is a
Carbon
fact
makes
about.
4 bonds.
That's the only thing. If you
That's
mess
actually
that
not
up,
how the meme puts it that I sent.
When
to
in
Matt.
doubt, scream resonance. That's
Yes.
what I remember. That's what I remember about organic.
if you make
When
5
in
bonds
doubt
to
with
carbon,
Greece,
you hear him
scream
screaming
Opa.
down the hall.
Yeah, that's true.
Carbon
Yeah.
is a bad name for a female that starts with W. That's all you need to know
It
about
loves to
organic
make bonds
chemistry.
with other
Yeah.
elements.
So I
That's
asked
right.
Matt, I'm like, is this because carbon is the basis of life? And he's like, and he said, it also bonds lots of other elements. And I'm like,
Yikes.
okay.
It gets around. It gets around.
Oh,
Oh.
Which group, performance group, musical group, had the most number 2 hits without ever hitting number 1 on the American Billboard chart?
Credence?
It was Creedence Clearwater. Wow.
I don't know. They hung out with Archie Bunker. I don't know. I mean,
They had 5 number 2s. Never went to number 1.
Wow, that was
that's just
I
weird.
could just
Was
hear
that
him
an
talking
was
about
that
the
a-
long hairs.
based on knowledge, or was that a random guess?
no, I think it was like one of those $10,000 pyramid things or something, or a Jeopardy double, whatever.
Right, right.
Who knows?
Again, that was in a world where the data was very easy to follow. How many
Yeah.
records did you sell last week?
Records,
We
vinyl.
We
Yeah.
can't even ask that
Upload
question
streams.
anymore, right? So, yeah.
Huh.
According to anatomy, how many hearts does an octopus have? 4?
Four.
3.
It says 3. I know a lot of people
Oh.
said 3 there, so that is correct.
I actually
One
got a book
pumps
for
blood.
Christmas about a woman who she's lost her husband and her son has disappeared, and she's working in an aquarium to get some extra money to make ends meet, and she develops this relationship with this octopus who actually figures out what happened to her husband and her son. It's called Remarkably Bright Creatures, and I'm like, this is just odd enough of a premise that I would find it really
That's
interesting.
based on not a true story, is it?
I wouldn't think so.
So, well, you never know.
Anything's possible.
They are smart animals.
Mhm. They're very
It was a
smart.
premise for Shape of Water. Oh,
Yes.
Well, with a little genetic engineering, the octopus might be able to donate one of its hearts to someone
That's
that
right.
needs it.
Oh my God!
To the
Let's
chin.
not give cardiologists that idea.
Hey!
They
Oh
might
no,
be
we're already
even more
doing.
in
We're
danger
already
than-
doing
So,
our
hey,
pigs.
come on, the octopus at the
He
aquarium
can
at Belle
spin.
Isle's gone now. All
Pigs are
of a sudden.
donating hearts and now kidneys.
What happened?
I don't know.
Okay.
It's not there anymore.
Well, they don't last that long. So. 3 to 5
There's a little
years.
sign up that said gone fishing.
Yeah.
Oh.
FISSION, right?
Yeah. How many times a year does the average person blink?
Whoa. Let's do this mathematically.
Yeah, like how many times?
Well, how many times a minute?
Oh, we're talking Gilbert Gottfried or real people?
How many times a minute?
Because then there's
think?
525,000.
125,600 minutes.
Yep. Maybe
Oh my
20
God.
times a
Times.
minute?
8 times a minute would be 4 million.
I'll go with that.
Something like
If
that.
you
4
can't
million.
do math, see Rent.
Honestly, I think you're close. It says 10 because the average person blinks 20 times every minute.
20.
But then,
so-
but
but-
then, how many hours are you awake?
Ah!
There's something we got to take into consideration.
Yes.
Do not
Yeah, for those of us who don't sleep
Well,
much.
right.
And that's a
Assume
very
more
crude
than-
What day of the
average.
week is it that we're talking about?
Yeah.
Assume most people sleep 8 hours and then deduct
8?
that, right? From, well,
That's generous.
yeah.
That is very generous.
You are all.
So do you
killing me
blink?
right
How
now.
do they define blink? Can you blink while you're sleeping?
I don't.
Not
think
if
so.
you make-
eyes are
No,
already
probably an
closed.
open and a close.
Yeah, REM doesn't count as
Yeah,
I know that's an obvious definition, but
yeah.
doesn't count as blinking.
you never know.
approximately 10 million times a year.
I figured it had to be up in the millions, given the number of times we do it a minute. So
Four to me is close just by looking at, you got to get in the ballpark for, orders of magnitude. So I like that answer. What's the national animal of Scotland? Hint. This animal
Unicorn.
never existed in
Yes,
Scotland.
unicorn.
Unicorn, yes, that's right.
then why didn't they make Nessie their
Unicorn.
Yeah.
You
Been
want
around
to try?
for a while,
Yeah. How many
you know?
artist interpretations of that thing there? are? Too many.
true?
How many individual grapes make a standard bottle of wine?
Oh, I used to know this.
Oh. Let's go
I don't
find
know if
out.
We've had this in a long time.
Let's go find out. Come on, Jim. Let's
I
get some
feel
wine.
like we need to ask Lucille Ball this question.
Yeah.
I want to say it's like 3,000 or something like that.
3,000 is a little high.
A little high. Okay.
2,000.
A little high.
500.
800.
Man, these are some mighty
42.
juicy grapes.
500 is getting way closer. It says it takes about 700 grapes.
That's not that many.
One bottle.
Yeah.
Go make some wine.
I don't know what. No, let's get some. I don't need to make it. We can just drink it.
Ooh, probably from the same category
Uh-oh.
of counting things. How many individual edges are on the standard U.S. dime?
Oh,
Oh, you mean
Oh, all
ridges
those little
on the
things.
side?
Ridges?
It's like-
Oh, I remember this.
Guess
one.
about 88.
Ooh, it's
77, isn't it?
More. Wow.
I think 127.
Jim's a little closer. It's 118 is what it
118.
says here. So,
Yeah,
sure,
Somebody actually counted them, though.
Yes.
somebody had to design the
Yes.
coin and say, not 119.
And not,
To 4 thou shalt not go.
5 is right.
Right out of the window.
Oh my gosh.
Had to do the Monty Python.
I'm going to have to send
just-
you someone sent me a fake cover of Time magazine last week.
No, it was me.
Enchanter of the Year.
I just posted that on
Tim.
Facebook.
I saw that.
Tim, Enchanter of the Year.
According to Jim Croce, what type of cars did Bad Leroy Brown have?
Custom Continental and El Dorado too.
That is exactly.
Hold on, are we talking Encyclopedia Brown, Leroy Brown?
No,
Oh,
it's
darn.
the song. It's the song.
And in Can't Mess Around with Jim, he's driving a drop-down Cadillac, right?
Mhm. All badass cars.
Yep.
Yeah.
Jim, we got to get you one of those.
I think that if my wife, the pop presidential historian, was here, she would be like, actually. But who was the only unmarried president? As in, unmarried the entire time he was
Thomas
president?
Buchanan.
Jefferson.
It was Jim Buchanan, is what it was. Yeah.
JB.
So, 15th president.
Should have.
Because his niece had to act as first lady.
Yeah.
Yeah, and there was.
But so did I.
Yeah.
Literally just finished a book called America's First Daughter, which was about Patsy Jefferson.
Mhm.
Jefferson. His wife died
Right.
before he became president. He never remarried.
Huh.
He made
Okay.
a deathbed vow to his wife to never marry again because she didn't want another woman having dominion over her
Sure.
Well,
children. So
Well, I think the thing about Buchanan is he wasn't married before.
He was
wasn't
a
married
bachelor,
during,
a
and he
lifelong
wasn't married
bachelor.
any time after. He was never married in his life. So,
okay.
yeah.
So Jefferson actually was married once
Yes.
upon a time. Okay.
According to the Oxford,
Who would marry James Buchanan?
I mean, I
really.
don't know. I just,
Not one
the
of our better
cravat was too
presidents.
high. According to the Oxford English Dictionary, there's only one word in the English language that ends in the letters M-T.
Verklempt.
Unkempt.
Now, you said unkempt. That's a
Well, that's
word.
got a P.
Yeah.
though.
That's got a
Oh,
P.
no, I was going to say
Yeah.
prompt.
MT.
MT.
I think Yiddish is not included here.
Yeah, too
I
bad.
love it.
Hey,
Um,
American English is the language that absorbs every other language that
Well,
it
that's
touches.
true.
So, come on.
Is bastardized by
It's just be like a number, a
language.
cardinal number of some kind.
This is a, I would put it on a scale of 1 to 10 in terms of like the frequency of you
Commonality?
using it. It's fairly common. It's actually a fairly common word.
Really?
You might see it when you see like, you know,
I
people in
think
the
it was like an
morning
E or something.
and you're interacting with them in the morning. And,
Unkempt? No, that's got a P.
No. Not ver-
You're talking about what
Is
may
it-
have happened during the night while you were asleep.
Dreamt.
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 Oh, very
Okay,
good.
and I kept on thinking it's got to be a German word, right?
Oh, did you? I'm sorry.
No, I
Oh,
didn't. I
jeez.
definitely didn't.
My bad.
I was thinking there was like drum.
And
And that's only because of
I'm sorry.
bastardized English.
Yeah.
Because
think-
dreamed
Yeah.
is the proper form of it.
Well, that's the
We'll
thing.
take
I've
it.
had arguments with my kids about this because they're like, oh,
Or
you
like
know,
creep and
green-
No, but the
Yeah,
English
right.
used almost every ED word
Yeah.
could be a T.
Yeah, like
that's true.
MIXT, any Scrabble player will tell you.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. Oh yeah.
All right, for question 20,
oh,
it's kind of like a special question from all the other ones that we've done. I think we have just enough time to figure this one out. I'm going to give you 4 things that happened in American history. And your job is to put them in order
oh dear.
from the earliest thing that happened to the most recent thing that happened. Does that make sense?
Sure.
Okay.
Jackie Robinson announces his retirement from Major League Baseball.
Okay.
The Big Mac hamburger is introduced.
yeah.
Mm.
I
After-
love Steve's thinking. The world's first Kmart opens in Garden City, Michigan. Of course, where Steve is writing the question.
We're doing
from.
the same
I know.
damn
I'm
thing.
like,
What are you guys mincing him?
Yeah,
What's going on?
I'm
And
trying to
last
plot it out in my
but
head.
not least, Tina Fey is born.
Oof.
I think
Oh,
Tina
wow.
Fey was born.
Which one is the earliest
Oh.
Kmart.
of those things?
I'm going to go Tina Fey.
I would say
I'll say-
Kmart.
Jackie Robinson.
I'll
No,
say Jackie
retired.
Robinson.
What did
not,
she-
not
when did he
played,
retire?
retired.
I'm gonna go
Oh,
with
Oh,
Big
In the
Mac.
70s.
Let's just say all
Jackie
of them.
Robinson retires.
Okay.
Big Mac comes out. World's first Kmart opens. Tina Fey is
I
born.
was right.
Yeah.
It was Jackie
Whoa,
Robinson.
whoa, I didn't
retired.
get the answer.
That was-
I'm sorry. Okay, I'm
Yeah.
Yes.
Didn't the first
Marge,
Kmart
not
open in
Presky. Okay.
like the
let's-
50s?
Yeah.
I will go one more step. One of these things happened in January of 1957.
That sounds like
That
Big
sounds
Mac.
like Kmart.
Okay, yeah, okay, because Tina Fey is not that.
She's
Tina
like
Fey is
around.
not
That would be
No.
very
Yeah.
close to
No.
Jackie
Yeah,
Robinson.
She might
She's
be
like
So Tina Fey's not that old.
50.
Tina Fey is like
Late-
so large.
early
It has to be like
70s.
Came out
later,
in
right?
7.
Robinson
So
entered,
she's born in
Like
70s.
supersizing.
I think
Was it,
Kmart.
was that
The
50?
Think
logic
it's
of the
Kmart,
professor
No.
here is
Big Mac,
fascinating.
Tina Fey. and
No,
then
I think Tina
sure.
Fey is that old.
No, Tina Fey's definitely born in the late 60s.
So-
Yeah.
67.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
sometimes it's a little hard for me to hear when you're all talking at the
Okay.
same time, but I still think it's fun because that's
Okay.
academics. But the first thing that happened on the list, January 1957, was when Jackie Robinson.
Oh, okay.
Because
Because I
he-
would say Kmart was after.
Because
Big
when-
Mac.
Kmart
I
was number
right.
2.
All right, nice.
That was
Okay.
January of
And then
1962.
Big Mac.
Big
Yeah.
Mac is 67.
Yes.
Tina
And
Fey.
then Tina
Yes.
Fey.
Tina
All
Fey
right,
was
we had
born
that.
in 1970.
Yep.
Yeah.
So the key there is Robinson. I think he joined the Dodgers in '47, but he'd already been playing several years.
Wow.
Okay,
So
that's
he was
one.
older.
Okay, yeah, okay.
When
Yes.
he, you know.
I actually got confused. Yeah, I got confused because I was
You?
superimposing other, ball players over Robinson.
Big Mac came out as a response to the Whopper, which was in, I think, 63.
There you go. Wow.
Cheeseburger now.
You got
I
it all
know.
figured out.
So-
Comes back to food.
Always comes back to food. Always comes back to food.
Yeah.
Always.
You always
Food
come back
is
with
glorious.
Right there in the corner.
Oh my gosh.
Do we need to go get more Taco Bell? Maybe
Those-
we can go back in here today.
really
Oh,
tempted
speaking
to
of which,
stop on
did you guys
the
see
way
the
home.
order for Girl Scout cookies?
Oh, I sell Girl Scout cookies.
Yes.
Oh, you
They
too?
are
Wait,
officially-
really?
Oh man, that's gonna be competition.
Wait, you're talking about the Evans girls?
Yes.
Okay.
Oh.
They're the ones that sell, a lot of Girl Scout.
Does one of the Bell girls? also?
Violet Bell
Okay.
sells
Uh-oh.
cookies.
Okay.
This
Okay.
is the last year you can get s'mores. flavor.
No.
What? They are
Yeah, that's
retiring.
right.
What? S'mores.
Oh,
after
I'm
this
even
year.
more angry about that than other things right now. Then
That's it. Remember, I told you put yourself in front of the
2025.
The dispensary is a great place for girls.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Cookies. You just open up the minivan and they just load them in.
Yeah.
It's awesome.
No, don't even load it in the minivan.
Wow.
Just drive it to my house.
Yeah, exactly. No, seriously. Berkeley is going to be a place where you're going to sell a lot,
Oh my God.
a
Yeah.
lot of Girl Scout
We've
cookies.
got too many dispensaries.
You bring in the form. You gotta.
Form? Who's got time?
What is
It's
the digital
all
form
it's
now?
all digital.
I know. in digital form now.
Everything
Which
is
is-
wait.
Sorry. I'm an
Don't tell me
antique
that
Girl
the
Scout.
cookies are digital.
Right.
Then we'll be in real trouble.
You get a non-fungible cookie.
Non-fungible token.
Fungible? Fungible?
Fungible.
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 Did you hear about the guy that
Fungible.
has lost I think over $1 million because he bought Bitcoin and then stored the code that, because of course it all exists only digitally.
And he lost.
He
he forgot the code.
No,
Password.
his laptop. He thought he downloaded everything from his laptop before it was tossed,
Oh
and then
my
it was
gosh.
crushed at the county dump. This is in England, and so now the code to get onto the website to claim his
gone.
bitcoins
Nope.
is gone.
Oh dear.
Let's see, how bad do I feel for him?
On a scale of 1 to 10.
Well, it shows you how fungible Bitcoin really is.
We will have an entire question set in the future on fungibility. But until then, the time has come to say goodbye, Professor Maxwell,
Adios.
Professor Bell,
Goodbye.
Professor Chow,
See ya.
Professor Tubbs,
Farewell.
Professor Maggio,
I'm a fun guy.
Professor Oljar,
Goodbye.
and Professor Boats.
Not a fungible thing.
And now, these words from University of Detroit Mercy.
You can email Ask the Professor at atp@udmercy.edu or visit the Ask the Professor Facebook page.
Ask the Professor is produced and directed by Michael Jason and Brian Masonville, and our executive producer is Professor Jason Roach. Until next week, I'm your host, Matt Mayo.